claw sign is a feature very much in the case of the intussusception on the barium study. 20-year-old myopia will have a retinal hole which can lead to development of retinal detachment with the development of the sudden loss of vision. Now what is the mechanism of osmotic diuretics in glaucoma? The question was given, options was vitreous humor size is shrunken or production is decreased. Okay, production is decreased means that becomes the answer. Now tell me, doctor, what is the mechanism of osmotic diuretics? Number one, most of the water in the eye, where is it located, doctor? It is there in the vitreous. So the dehydration of the vitreous will allow the lens and iris to move more posteriorly. It will open up the iridocorneal angle, and that is how the outflow become increased. So that way it also causes the outflow to become improved. I think, is it an except question about it? Which is the mechanism. Okay. The second mechanism which is available is it also basically causes a decrease of the production of the aqueous humor, especially when it is given in a concentration of 1 to 1.5 grams per kg is what need to be remembered. So anyway, production of aqueous is there, which is the main mechanism of action. So B should be the answer. Now first treatment modality in congenital dacryocystosis is basically warm compression, lacrimal sac massage, topical and oral antibiotics is considered to be the management. Brown reflex deposition in chronic mercuria poisoning, also called mercuria lentis. Where does the deposition occur, doctor? It occurs in the anterior capsule of the lens is the location where mercuria lentis deposition occur. Laser trabeculoplasty is the typical modality that we use in the case of the open angle glaucoma in order to decrease the intraocular pressure. Where do you see the Rosette's cataract and Vossius ring? They are all seen in the case of the blunt trauma. Charcot's joint is seen in the case of any kind of sensory neuropathy like the syringomyelia, diabetes, leprosy and renal dialysis patients, those who have congenital insensitivity to pain, chronic alcoholism, meningomyelocele, they all can lead to development of Charcot's joint. If you want to measure the strength of the IOL, what is the method? IOL strength can better be measured by the keratometer, which will check for the corneal curvature and decide what strength of the IOL is the one which is required. The patient has got the cholera. Cholera is not a cause for hemolytic uremic syndrome. Hemolytic uremic syndrome is by Shigella and also by the enterohemorrhagic E. coli O157 is what need to be remembered. Now what is the important features in the case of the congenital toxoplasmosis, doctor? It is the neonatal hydrocephalus, microcephaly, strabismus, mental retardation, etc., is what need to be remembered. Now once more, amniocentesis can diagnose all the four options given. I don't have a specific reason to deny something or accept anything. Basically you can diagnose the genetic conditions like Edward and Down, musculoskeletal like Duchenne's muscular dystrophy and cystic fibrosis, metabolic disorders like the alpha-1 antitrypsin, phenylketonuria, etc. So all of them. Now endometrial cancer, is metropathia hemorrhagica is a risk factor? Yes? Okay. Then in the diabetic mother, what was your answer? How many answers? Spina bifida or anencephaly? Characteristic was there. Then caudal regression become more likely an answer. Because caudal regression very less likely occur in the case of a normal deliveries. I mean the non-pregnant women children of non-pregnant mothers. But caudal regression as such is considered to be the most characteristic feature, which is also called typically congenital diabetic malformation, it is also called as. Now myoclonus, amnesia, rigidity, increased reflexes, they are all the features in thiamine deficiency with the Wernicke's encephalopathy. Now diaphragm and the condom and today, they are all fundamentally the barrier conceptives. What does today contain? Nonoxynol 9, it is inserted deep into the vagina 5 to 10 minutes before intercourse and it destroys the sperms on contact, whereas the centochromone is an oral non-steroidal contraceptive pill. A lady postpartum in lactation, what do you want to give? Minipill is the one which has only progesterone, which can help and does not interfere with the breastfeeding. Now what is the mechanism of action of progesterone only pill? It will increase the cervical mucus thickness, as all of you know. Post-tubectomy recanalization is best in the case of the laparoscopic recanalization, because you don't destroy the tissue much, you apply a lap ring which can be very much removed when required. Now if you are doing mini lap, what is the method that you want to choose? It is a Pomeroy technique which can be modified. Pomeroy technique is the one which is used. You will be transfixing the tube with a suture, and you will be tying the square knot around it, and then you will be tying the distal end, and then you will be tying off the loop and cut the proximal side of the tube. That is how you basically operate. Then what is not produced by the stomach? Pepsinogen, intrinsic factor, HCl, all of them are produced. Is there any gastric lipase? No. I mean, in exam hall somebody will be giving auditory hallucination. There is also a gastric lipase, so it is produced. Don't answer. So very much possible. Pepsinogen is by the gastric juice. Intrinsic factor is by the parietal cells, all of you know. Now a child has a sudden unilateral obstruction of the nose. So it is an example of foreign body obstruction. Otostenosis is a progressive or a non-progressive deafness, doctor? It is very much a progressive deafness, conductive deafness it is, and that's the reason non-progressive becomes the not about it. Tinnitus is a feature in the case of the Meniere's. Then myocardial infarction, is Coxsackie B is involved? Very much. Coxsackie B is known to cause a triggering of the myocardial infarction. Cocaine, because of the vasospasm it can cause. SLE because the vasculitis and that prothrombotic state can predispose, but no reason for believing lead poisoning. Lead was there in the options? Okay. Fibrates, how do they act, doctor? It is by increasing HDL and decreasing the VLDL. Fibrates will be acting. Is it a common topic in entrance? Definitely. One question on hypolipidemic drugs. Without that, and familial hyperlipoproteinemias. Without that, there is no question paper. So basically, fibrates act against what is called as a PPAR. PPAR is also called peroxisome proliferator activated receptor. And they cause an increased lipoprotein lipase activity, and hence they cause more VLDL clearance, and they cause a decrease of the VLDL, and they also will cause an increase of the HDL. That is how the fibrates will be functioning, is what need to be remembered. External carotid artery, where do you ligate it? Whenever you are operating to control the nasal bleeding as an otolaryngologist. We make an incision like this, doctor, and we look for where is the common carotid, and external internal carotids are seen arising out of that. And then in the external carotid, we will be looking for two important branches. One of the important branch is the lingual artery, and the other is above that, that is the superior thyroid artery. Below the origin of the superior thyroid artery, we basically place the ligature whenever we are ligating the external carotid artery, and this is how finally after applying below the level of the origin of the the superior thyroid artery, it is being finally ligated. Now xenodiagnosis means what? What is xeno about it? You make the mosquito bite the patient and then check in the mosquito for the presence of the organism. Yes. Chagas is a condition where typically xenodiagnosis is used. In congenital talipes equinovarus, always the triple arthrodesis is not required. You have got non-surgical measures which are available for you. So in children younger than 5, soft tissue procedures, 5 to 10, Dillwyn-Evans procedure like things, and lateral wedge torsectomy or triple fusion is the one which is for the children who are above the 10 years. What is gene? Cistron is a gene. Basically cistron is the length of the DNA which codes for a single protein molecule, and it is also interchangeable with the terminology. Gene and cistron are interchangeable. Fissure bulging sign is typically seen in the case of the Klebsiella and pneumonia. If you take a lateral radiograph, the fissures, major and minor fissure, bulged out by the opacity in the case of pneumonia caused by the Klebsiella. In epidural abscess, it is the Staphylococcus aureus which is the most common organism which is responsible for it. Now in Burkitt's lymphoma, how many answered it as high apoptotic activity as a wrong? It's understood, no? A low apoptosis is cancer, high apoptosis is normal. But one of the options given was cleaved or non-cleaved. Cleaved was there. But what you find is basically small non-cleaved and large non-cleaved type of cells. So that is the reason it becomes the answer. And what the kind of apoptotic activity you see is really a high apoptotic activity. Same time there is a high proliferative activity. Both of them are found in the case of the Burkitt's lymphoma, and it has got the monotonous population of these lymphoid cells which have this kind of a high activity of apoptosis. Now let us talk about the hydrocele. The testis cannot be palpated separate from that of the swelling in the case of the hydrocele is the primary dictum in the clinical surgery. So it can sometimes obscure the inguinal hernia, and it is transilluminant generally, and getting above the swelling is one of the important clinical examination. In cystic hygroma, what is the management, doctor? Radio frequency ablation can be done. You can use the sclerosing agent like bleomycin very much, but on any given day excision is considered the mainstay of the management, so actinomycin becomes the odd man out in the options given. In the hydatid cyst, what is the treatment of choice? How many answer it as percutaneous aspiration? Was it there in the options? Basically there are two types of echinococcosis, doctor. Cystic echinococcosis caused by the granulosis and alveolar echinococcosis caused by the multilocularis. Now in the case of the cystic echinococcosis, surgery is the primary treatment and the only hope of the complete cure is what need to be remembered. I am coming. Whereas the puncture aspiration injection reaspiration pair, though available, is not yet been proven as the treatment of choice with a caveat and adjective following it. So in this surgery you have the pericystectomy and open cystectomy as the options available in order to manage it, so that way cyst excision becomes the management rather than the aspiration as the treatment of choice. Now fourth heart sound is an atrial gallop, our favorite topic in every discussion. When will you listen atrial gallop, doctor? When the left ventricle lost its compliance, then you listen it. In mitral stenosis, is the left ventricle is having any burden? No, already it is a stenotic valve, very little blood is coming to the left ventricle is already unemployed and it is sitting in a bored state, it is not overburdened. So that is the reason it is unlikely to be seen in the case of the mitral stenosis. Whereas in pulmonary stenosis or aortic stenosis or pulmonary hypertension or systemic hypertension, whenever there is a load falling on the left ventricle, then left ventricle become hypertrophic, non-compliant, then it leads to the rumbling of the blood when the blood gushes in the last 1/3 of the diastole. So that's the reason S4 is characteristically absent in MS. Another common dictum in radiology is, never you find left ventricular enlargement in the case of pure MS. If there is a left ventricular enlargement in a case of MS, always think of coexistent MR or coexistent AR or coexistent any aortic valve pathology. Unless it is there, pure MS should never cause the left ventricle to become enlarged, is always a very important rule. We find the band-shaped keratopathy in the stills. Then bacteremic shock can lead to shock lung, which can make the treatment become unresponsive. Severe burns can lead to hypovolemic shock, so that's the reason Parkland formula need to be properly honored on the day 1.